morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told how to voice the radio. So today, I'm here to share a little bit of news with you, and then posit a question. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, over in Korea, they have now gone and revealed that they are going to be selling the special 100 start deck. Now, if we want to get into semantics, we kind of do a little bit. This isn't actually one of the 100 start decks. Let me explain. Over in Japan, as I'm sure you know at this stage, they did a thing where you could buy a deck, an actual fully pre-made deck that you could go and play with. And they called these the 100 start decks, and in a shocking twist, it turns out that there were exactly 100 different versions of the 100 start deck. That makes sense. Except there weren't actually 100. There was a secret rare 101. And then we've got this one, which isn't actually the 100 start deck. It's starter deck 000. Which means there's actually 102 of them. And I'll be honest with you, having 102 of them makes them, well, it makes them a bit less fun and interesting, if I'm honest with you. But they made it anyway. And the thing is that over in Japan, when they made this deck, there were actually 4 exclusive cards that could only be gotten in this particular deck. There was a Pikachu Eevee. We will, of course, go through translations in a little bit. There was an Eevee, and there was a Dubwool, which I was not terribly excited about. And there was a Wooloo with Okacheke artwork, which I'm very, very excited about, because it's gosh darned beautiful. And those 4 cards are brand new, as I like to call them, mechanically unique cards. They can only be gotten in this 100 start deck. As it stands at the moment, these cards are completely missing from the English language. We'll get to that in a moment. That's one of my gripes. We'll talk about that in a minute. But my point is, those cards are missing in action. We have no idea if or when they'll ever come. But they are mechanically unique, so it does make sense. And over in Korea the other day, I showed you that they were actually releasing the Pikachu VMAX promo in Kellogg's cereal. Now, the way it actually worked in Japan was there was a copy of Korokoro Comic that if you bought it came with Pikachu VMAX, and then it had a QR code that you could use to enter a lottery to win the special 100 start deck. Annoyingly, they would not use proxy addresses like I used to order from Japan. You had to have like a legitimate, proper Japanese address, which I clearly don't have, so I couldn't enter, and you know what, it's fine, I didn't win, it's okay. The Wooloo's not going to be difficult to get hold of, because I do need the Wooloo, obviously it's lovely Okacheke artwork. But that Pikachu VMAX has been confirmed to be coming in cereal over in Korea. They were just missing the rest of the cards, and now it turns out they're literally just going to be selling it from May the 27th for 20,000 won, which is basically about $16 or about £13, which you honestly should have known. We've all watched Squid Game. Unless you're not old enough, in which case don't watch Squid Game. There's not always particularly nice bits in there. My point is, this is now coming out and it's being released and is awesome. And it's only been a couple of days since I showed you that over in Thailand, they're making these cards available. By these cards, I mean the EVV and the Pikachu V, the Dubwool and the Wooloo, and the Pikachu VMAX. Also, there's an old So-So Pikachu, which actually came out in Japan quite a while ago at this stage. Like, it's been ages. But, yeah, for some reason it never made its way out in Thailand, so they're just kind of chucking it in here. Because I don't know why not. They needed to get it in somewhere, alright? It made sense. So, okay, that's how they're being made available in Thailand. And that's how they're being made available over in Korea. And I've told you how they've already been made available in Japan a while ago. So that does raise the question of, what's happening with these cards? Because like I've said, these are 5 if you include the VMAX, 5 brand new mechanically unique cards, which have not been seen in English, which would be legal for tournament play and could be good. Now, the Pikachu VMAX has a regulation mark of F, as do all the rest of the cards. Now, we are expecting that this year we will be rotating to Regulation Mark E onwards, which means in 2023 we'll be rotating to Regulation Mark F onwards, which means in 2024, 2 and a bit years' time, we'll be rotating to Regulation Mark G onwards, and then they'll rotate out. So, not only are they here, not only are they legal, but we're expecting them to be sticking around in the format for more than 2 years. And actually, yeah, we kind of need these cards. Now, these could just be slipped into sets. That would make absolute perfect sense. We could just see these slipped into whatever the set after Astral Radiance is, and that would work. Or we could see them as promos, and we know that Pokemon love having promo stuff with Pikachu and Eevee. It's not been a few weeks since we saw the last Pikachu V-Box. So that would be kind of cool. That could work. These could be fun little... I mean, imagine a promo product where you got this Pikachu V and the V Max in one box. That would be cool, right? The Wooloo and the Double, I do expect them to just slip them into sets. They're not particularly exciting cards. They're not... everyone loves Wooloo and the artwork is phenomenal. But it's not exactly something like a Pikachu V Max where you would expect Pokemon to make a big fuss about it. I would expect that here. What I would not expect, and I do think this is a fair prediction, I would not expect the 100 start deck to be released over here. That doesn't make sense. The reason is, we never got the 100 start decks at all. They're not a thing over here. That whole kind of part of the brand doesn't exist over here. So it wouldn't really make sense to just release this one of the 100 start decks. That doesn't really work. It wouldn't make any sense. It would confuse, unless you're like me and cover this news extensively, or you watch this channel regularly, and if you do, thank you very much, I love you, well, you're probably not going to understand what the 100 start decks are, and it would be very confusing messaging. So I wouldn't expect that to happen, quite frankly. But I think at this stage it's fair to say, they made them available in Japan, and then they've gone out of their way to make them available in Korea, and they've gone out of their way to make them available in Thailand. They're mechanically unique cards with regulation marks that are tournament legal. I mean, as it stands at the moment, Japanese, Thai, and Korean players could bring these to Worlds in August. Ironically, in London, even though we don't have an English version of these cards released yet. It's weird. Now, to remind ourselves of the cards, and shout out to the lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net, where I'm stealing these translations from, that they're not phenomenal cards. Pikachu for free energy does 200 and can't attack during your next turn. It's not a great card, although I will say that time you whack a choice bout on there, you will be doing 230 and KOing the vast majority of Pokemon V, so it's useful, but it's a little bit expensive. The Eevee V has a couple of attacks, 1 energy, 30 damage, or free energy, 80 damage, but against a Pokemon V, it does 80 more damage. 160 really isn't cutting it, I'm afraid, and you're never hitting for weakness. So although the Pikachu, I can make an argument, the Eevee, it's very hard to make an argument. It's just a bad card. The Wooloo artwork is absolutely proper job, over the top, crazy stunning. The card... single energy, flip till you get tails, 30 for each heads. And I've said many times, I actually like attacks like this. I really like the idea that if you've got nothing else, if you've got no options, this could do it. And you might need to flip like 7 heads in a row in order to KO and win. But if the choice is you've lost, or flip 7 heads in a row to win, sure, the vast majority of the time, you're not going to flip 7 heads in a row, and you are going to lose. Who cares? At least you've got a chance. I actually like the Wooloo a lot more than I like the Double. The Double's just a bad card. Single energy, 40 damage plus 10 to your opponent's bench. 2 energy, 60, flip till you get tails, 30 more for each heads. The reason I don't like this, even though it is a nice emergency attack, is because you're talking stage 1, 2 energy. If I'm going crazy into, super low odds to win, basic Pokemon single energy is my jam. That's where it's at. I don't like having a stage 1 and multiple energy. That's just awkward. Plus, I might be playing the Wooloo to evolve into another Double. I'm not going to be playing this Double, so no. Now, the Pikachu VMAX, I'm going to be honest with you, I was on the 100 starter deck page for Cerebi, and I couldn't be bothered to find the other one, so I translated this myself, and then double-checked that I was right. I was! Go me! 4 energy, 250 damage is alright, and to be fair, with a choice belt that will one-hit KO any V-Star we've seen so far, so that's kind of cool. Or single energy, 30 damage, and attach free lightning energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, and you know what? Yeah! That's not too bad. I don't think Pikachu VMAX, I don't think it's great, but I do think that you could do a little bit of damage with this and it could be kind of fun. So there we go. Confirmation is coming out in Korea and how, and a question as to the English language release. Something we'll have to wait for. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. If you are in either Korea or Thailand and you can get the appropriate version of that lovely Okacheke Wooloo and you'd like to do a trade with your old pal Wassy, hit me up on Twitter, would ya? For now, I want to know what you think about this and I want to know your predictions as to how these cards are coming. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.